Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one. Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. On bar.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy. Yeah.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three. The moss covered. Three-handle family Gradunzo.
Mamma mia.
And now,
Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
number 4, armbar.
I will never retire.
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
Alright, fellow B Plus players, today is Who Cares? It's Patreon. We're doing the thing. We're doing the call-in shows that we promised. Joining me to talk to a bunch of people who join us on Discord every day. So really, we're doing it with voice this time instead of just chatting. But joining me to discuss things, Danders the Manders. How are you, Danders?
I'm good, Greg. It's been a solid 24 hours since I've been chatting with you. So
Yeah,
it's,
well, I mean, look, a lot can happen in 24 hours.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I watched Raw. I did some DDP yoga. A kid started school, or kindy down here, which is like preschool. But you know, a lot can happen. You slept.
A lot can
didn't you?
happen.
You slept.
I did. I had Raw good. I had Raw good to go. 12 o'clock.
Right.
12:05. I was in Snooze Town
Yeah.
every week.
I feel like Raw this week was actually pretty good.
It really was. It wasn't Raw that put me to sleep. It was just like yesterday. I woke up at 4 a.m. due to the excitement of Royal Rumble Day. Had a big day of being out in the sun and into the bevs, and then a late night recording with my BFF Greg Unchained, and then it was yesterday was a big day.
I'm honoured that we're at BFF level already. It hasn't been long, Danders. Like I feel like you may be rushing things a little.
No, the bar is low. The bar is low.
Well, I don't know. Yesterday you're talking about all your friends that you have. I'm just watching Royal Rumble with all 60 of my friends.
I know. I had like 5, and they were totally roasting me. I seem to be the target of the roasting yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like I was taking a photo with one of my jugs, and one of my friends was like, "Is Dan just taking that photo for Instagram?" And my other mate was like, "It can't be. She has clothes on."
I just want to clarify. The jug you were taking it with was a jug of beer, not your jugs.
It was a cocktail jug, yeah.
Right, so that's unusual for you, right? So I like being the
normally
resident Instaho. Yeah.
And I was just getting roasted all day, so it was a big day. But yeah, I have watched Raw since. Did really enjoy it. I feel like it probably peaked a bit early.
Yes.
And the end kind of left me a little bit flat, but it didn't feel like the 5.5 hour show when it's actually 3 hours like it normally does.
Yeah. I feel like it was sort of it peaked early, just like the Royal Rumble did, right? Like the real main event is Becky Lynch and and Ronda Rousey. The real main event is the Women's Royal Rumble, and they're putting the men on after, and it just sort of ends with a whimper. Again, we talked about it ending with a whimper, and Raw ended with a whimper today. It was... The ending was awful. It was a good Raw. The ending was awful.
Yeah, absolutely. We should probably, before we get too in-depth, because I know that we can shit talk for hours, we should maybe get some of our other people to give us their thoughts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, this is our first ever call-in show. So joining us on the line, one of our Patreon callers. Let's bring Chapo in. Chapo, how you doing, man?
G'day. Not bad, man. Yourself? G'day, Danders. How you going?
I'm well.
Yeah. So, did you catch Raw today, Chapo?
Unfortunately not, due to work commitments. But I've seen a few of the highlights, and I've got to say, that promo that Ronda Rousey cut to Bailey was absolutely fire.
Yeah. To Becky, or?
Yeah, Becky, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Becky Bailey. It's all the same.
I got goosebumps when she cut that promo. Like, it's been a long time, I think since, like, the Yes Movement stuff, that I've actually gotten legit goosebumps on my arm while watching WWE programming.
I think at this point it would be a good chance to turn Ronda heel and make her that cocky, like, heel that, you know, puts fear into people, you know what I mean? Like, where she goes, I could kill you with my bare hands, but I don't want to. Like, I think that would be a good point just to, you know, make her a little bit more intense.
Yeah.
Do we think that Becky is maybe the character that they wanted Ronda to be? Like this take no shit badass kind of character?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Like, I don't think they need to do anything to turn the characters, because the crowd feel like Ronda is not genuine. The crowd feel like Becky is genuine. Like, the crowd are already doing it. The crowd have already turned them. And as long as they just sort of lean into those roles, I think we have a really strong path to WrestleMania.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more there, Greg. I think it's a really good build towards their match, like a slow build, not, you know, rushing it too much.
I'm still really worried they're going to bring Charlotte into it.
Oh, they couldn't be that stupid. They really couldn't.
Well, I don't know. I've said that before.
It's damn it.
I've said that before, and then Batista won the Royal Rumble, you know?
Yeah, you got a good point there.
Danders thinks that they've learnt a lot since that episode, though.
Absolutely. I think that this has been so organic, and who would have thought that Nia Jax breaking Becky's face could have been almost a blessing? You don't ever want to...
She's the real MVP of this.
Is Nia Jax? She's the MVP?
Yeah, she's the MVP of this.
I mean, she kind of got the ball rolling for Becky, didn't she? Like, the crowd were already behind Becky, but that moment with the blood on the face, it turned her into this next level stone cold type. I know the comparison's a bit trite at this point, but really that kind of character that you go to work and you stand around the water cooler, which is a stupid phrase, but you stand around the water cooler and you talk about it. Like, did you see what happened? Like, holy crap, she's the man. And that all started with Nia.
Yeah, exactly. I think Nia's like that thing where it's like she pulled a Homer, you know, like where Homer saved the nuclear plant by pressing all the buttons. Like, yes. Yeah, she pulled a Homer. Yeah. It wasn't intentional, but it's given us a lot to look forward to this WrestleMania, because I feel like if we had got Becky versus Ronda at Survivor Series, we would 110% be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And Ronda's wrestled, Charlotte's wrestled Becky too much. Like,
yeah,
you know, they had that whole feud and there's really not much to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no point going back to that just yet. But I'm also concerned based on the stuff that... did anyone watch the post-match promo from Royal Rumble that Ronda Rousey gave that was on, like, WWE.com?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, because she's giving the whole speech about, you know, how disrespectful it was when Sasha threw up the 4 sign, right? Because, you know, her and her training buddies, they're the real 4 horsewomen because they actually live this. They actually train. They actually support each other. They actually love each other. But the WWE's 4 horsewomen, they don't. They're you know, they don't even like each other at this point in time. And she was pointing all that out and saying it's just a marketing gimmick for them. And so I'm kind of also partly worried. Like, what I really want to see is Becky on one side of the ring, Ronda on the other side of the ring. Let's hash this out. Main event, last thing on the show. That's what I want to see. But I'm worried we're going to have Becky with Sasha, Bailey, and Charlotte versus Ronda with Jessamine, Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, and Shayna Baszler in her corner. And I really don't want that.
What if, right, for the WrestleMania entrance, you have Ronda in full UFC mode? So you have her team behind her. She has the UFC tie, the hoodie. She has a team with her. What if Duke, Shafir, and Baszler are her team? You know what I mean? Just to
and then do the same thing for Becky.
Yeah, like Becky have like Bailey or whoever with her to give it that that big, even bigger match fight kind of feel.
Yeah, I mean, if they do it like a UFC fight, or like, I guess New Japan do it too, right? Like, it's not uncommon in New Japan for there to be a second at ringside and they don't get involved in the match. But I just, I don't know if I trust WWE to do it without these girls getting involved in the match and it being an overbooked mess.
So, for conversation's sake, say they do get involved. That could start to turn the wheels for the horsewoman versus horsewoman thing. And then build it towards Survivor Series or SummerSlam, whenever. Yeah.
I mean, if Ronda's leaving, though, isn't that the rumor? Ronda's gonna take some time
she
off?
put that to bed. She put it to bed.
Did she really? I didn't see this.
Oh, it was either she put it to bed or the WWE put it to bed, saying she's got a contract until 2020.
Yeah, but if she decides to get pregnant, they'll just extend the contract and she'll take some time off. Because that's the point, right, is she wants to start a family. And fans were like, you can't do that, you're under contract. And she was like, you can't tell me what to do with my uterus. Which, fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, was there... Other than the Ronda Rousey stuff, though, I mean, I feel like we've all expressed that. I mean, that would be a good way to do it if they're going to have all of the horsewomen involved. That would be a good way to do it. But I know there were some other things you wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you've heard this, Standers. There's rumors coming out from PW Torch that Dean Ambrose is leaving WWE.
I did hear this, and I actually watched a video on. I'm pretty sure it was What Culture.
It was What Culture, yeah.
What Culture. The video about number 14 in the Rumble and how number 14 generally, there's maybe 3 or 4 exceptions, but they've all left the company within 18 months of being number 14. Dean Ambrose was number 14 yesterday. So
wow.
It's very spooky. Yeah.
That's mind-blowing. I'm going to have to fact check this. That's insane.
Yeah, so maybe we can put in the when this is posted, we can put a link to the video or whatever. But yeah, it's a very fascinating watch, and I'm not 100%, but I'm 90% sure that he was 14 in the Rumble. I am just going to fact check myself now.
Yeah, I can check my notes. You were going to say something there, Chapo?
Today's segment with him and Nia Jax made him look weak. Like, usually if someone hits him and he goes out of the ring, he goes straight back in.
Yeah.
And the crowd wanted that today, but he was just like, it's like, are they starting to screw him around because he's leaving, or reported leaving in April?
It's possible. He was upset already that he's being booked poorly. So I checked that, Dennis, and he was number 14. So that's insane.
Yeah, spooky.
That's absolutely insane. But yeah, no, so the rumors, according to the PW Torch, and I know Meltzer has talked about this on his Wrestling Observer Radio, which just dropped, but I have not listened to it yet because here we are. Now, the rumor was he's been upset with the creative direction of his character for a while, which, I mean, can you blame him?
Not really.
Yeah.
They've made him look like an idiot.
They really have. And so it's, where do we think he goes, though? Do we think All Elite are even looking at him? Because, I mean, Jericho, with his drunk tweets, was like, you guys keep doing your thing. We're only interested in, like, 8 of your people, tops. Is Ambrose one of those 8?
I don't think so. And I got to say something, like, the internet wrestling community, every time, like, today I saw a ridiculous tweet, like, a guy saying Dana Brooke should go to AEW to showcase her talent. Like, really? Like, with the ladies they could probably get, no offense to Dana, but they could probably get someone with a comparable size to her, but with more talent, if that makes sense.
I'm always because I just have not seen enough of Dana Brooke, and I feel like she's been so terribly booked. I feel like the only time I've seen her, she's been in like slutty receptionist outfits with Titus Worldwide, and that's been her character. That's all I can remember her, and I remember her being tiny in NXT. Feels like 1,000 years ago. I think that she was brought up too soon.
Yeah,
but
she was
I don't
also
feel like
someone's sidekick.
Yeah, Charlotte.
When she was brought up to me, yeah, her sidekick.
Charlotte and Emma.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't she with Alexa Bliss for a while?
Yeah, she was. She was a bumbling sidekick,
and she was a member of the club. So she's and Titus Worldwide, obviously. So she's been around, and honestly, she's. I'm glad you said it. She's been. I feel like she's actually been someone who is quite dedicated and is actually, deciding to sit under the learning tree and learn, because she was called up way too soon, but in her time on the main roster, she has improved hugely. And I think Chapo touched on something very good there. Now, I'm going to let you go, Chapo, because, time's up. We've got to get to some of the other callers. So I'm going to
catch you later.
But I'm going to keep going on with one of the points that he said there. There is plenty of talent around. On the indie scene without WWE, without AEW needing to raid, as it were, WWE. So like everyone's waiting for, when does this person's contract end? When does that person's contract end? And they're like, I hope AEW sign these people. I don't think AEW are thinking of that at all.
No, I think that there's enough underutilized talent, especially like in the UK scene. I feel like they've barely scratched the surface there.
Yeah.
And obviously in Japan and things like that. I feel like there's not enough people being booked correctly, because it has such a big, strong influence on how they're portrayed to people. Like if you go, say, 5 years ago and be like, Cody Rhodes is okay. He's okay. He's not, no one's going to be headhunting. It's like once he was given creative control of his own character, biggest stars in independent wrestling. And it's not that he's remarkably improved in the ring. It's just that he's been booked differently. He's become a completely different character.
Yeah. Well, you said it. He's had control. He's had control over what he does and what he doesn't do. Whereas in WWE, they just they have to do the thing that they're told to do. And then you get Dean Ambrose with, pouring ketchup and mustard onto Kane and having ambulance matches with Bray Wyatt. And, it's bad. It's bad.
I'm wearing that ugly furry jacket thing. God, that's...
What about the mask? Have they done away with the mask? It's that mask thing that he did for a couple of weeks was awful.
Yeah, and just put, like, the way that they're dragging Renee Young into it, it's like everyone knows that, Renee Young is Dean Ambrose's partner.
Yeah.
But we don't need to discuss it every time he does something. She doesn't need to justify it just because she's in commentary. Every time they do that, it just makes me think, Renee Young is here because she's Dean Ambrose's girlfriend.
Yeah. How much do you think him leaving affects her? Because I want to think WWE is a professional organization. She is a professional. This doesn't affect her at all. But, it is.
I just think it might affect her on a personal level. Like she might potentially want to leave.
Yeah. Like Brandy did, right? Brandy was fine. She by all accounts, she enjoyed being an interviewer and everything that she was doing. But yeah, she wanted to train as well, but there was options for her to do that with NXT. And then when Cody was unhappy, she was like, well, hey, I want to leave and support you. And Brandy is queen. So, but Renee Young could work on any TV network. Like,
yeah,
she's
but
incredible.
It seems like she legitimately loves her job.
Yeah.
So, and she's on a much different level than, because Brandy was on NXT, wasn't she? Was she on NXT or was she in WWE?
No, she used to do like WWE interviews. Like I remember her doing interviews on like the app. You know when they used to do the app and they'd go to the app during the ad breaks?
I'm not on your level of nerd, Greg. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
It was this is fair. It was a thing they did for a while where when you were watching WWE, and they would go to an ad break, they'd be like, open your app now, we got exclusive interviews, and they would do like little backstage skits and stuff. And a lot of the time they allowed the talent creative freedom. And like Stardust's stuff on the app, Cody's stuff as Stardust on the app was brilliant. It was where New Day tested a lot of their stuff and got really over, was with these interviews on the app. And yeah, they did away with that. I don't know why they did away with that, because I really liked that.
Yeah, I never even, I don't know, I don't like being told what to do. It's like when YouTubers say like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was going to, I'm sure as hell not now.
Man, I got to edit all that out now, because I say like, share, subscribe. I say go to the Patreon, support us, and you're like, don't do what people tell you, man. Fight the system. Someone who did do what was put at the end of the show is another Patreon backer, of course. Julian is joining us now. How are you, Julian?
Hey, how you going, guys?
Yeah,
welcome to the past in Perth. So I'm like 3 hours behind. So
yeah, we're talking to you on time travel.
Yeah, so yeah, I it's great that you guys covered Raw, because I haven't watched it yet. I just came home from work and just like eating and stuff, and now I'm like, oh great, I don't have to watch Raw now. So thanks, guys.
Oh,
all those people like have just come home from work, and me and Greg are like, can't relate.
I'm on duty 24/7. That's yeah.
Good on you guys. As you know, I'm not really. I may have mentioned I'm not a huge Raw and SmackDown watcher. I certainly don't watch like the whole shows. I tend to try and watch it on times 30 if I can.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit wrestled out this weekend. I have to say, after watching Takeover and the Rumble with the pre-shows as well, I thought I'd go all in with that. And then Progress Chapter 83 came out, so yeah, I'll pick up on Raw sometime this week, because I want to watch Wrestlerock tonight. I'm super keen on that.
Oh, Wrestlerock was an amazing show. I watched that on Friday night. I did like the whole live tweet thing, and yeah, that's a very good show. The Avery and Vixen match is really, really good. There's a lot to like about Wrestlerock, man. The commentary, of course, is brilliant.
Oh. I mean, the best thing about it is just getting absolutely smashed, and that being like mandatory, really, as part of the show.
As someone who was at the show, can confirm. I was feeling a little bit queasy from the alcohol when the Jimmy Havoc Mad Dog match, and that match actually made me vomit. It wasn't like I'd obviously had a fair bit to drink, but the gore in that match was. And I think because I've seen like these matches on TV so many times, it's like, I've been watching wrestling for 25 years, mate. Like, yeah, I'm fine. And then, but seeing it live in person, it was stomach churning, and just seeing, looking terrified the whole time. I'm like, surely you're used to this.
You know what the biggest difference is in watching a death match live? The smell.
Yep.
The smell of blood is actually like really intense.
Absolutely.
So I'd watched like, Alan Payne against Mad Dog at Wrestlerock and got like splashed with blood on that one. I'm like, thanks for the DNA. That's really nice of you. So we stood in the same spot for Jimmy Havoc match, and we thought, oh shit, this is gonna be bad news. But yeah, it was intense, and I think that what Jimmy brings to it though is a lot more of the comedy and the entertainment. So the sort of chugging beers and smacking about is great.
And calling people cunts.
That's basically his gimmick, right? So
you are what you eat. That's what I say.
I just thought it was great. Like I had to. It was off to a very Wrestlerock start when Jimmy Havoc comes out and goes, what are you, a cunt? And Chris Fresh is just like, yes. That was. I don't think it was even topped for line of that. No, it probably was. I can't remember what the line was, but something made Dowie visibly crack up in the ring as he was trying to hit a move.
It's sick. I just hope they didn't. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope they didn't include the shocking karaoke Uncle Beach bit at the end with horses and
they did.
all the boys.
They did.
If they didn't, I have about a 45-second Snapchat of it. I'm happy to send through with my voice taking prominence. But I can imagine that's not going to be enjoyable to watch.
No, because by that point, I don't think I could have actually fit any more alcoholic liquid inside me. So, screaming out to Fonzie, as I've just got my permanent residency, so I'm allowed to do that.
You're one of us.
Cool.
One of us. One of us. No, it was. I loved every second of it. The karaoke stuff was hilarious. I also enjoyed. The. I don't really use Snapchat much, but the Instagram stories and stuff of people. Just randomly Mitch Waterman just singing Linkin Park at like 3 a.m. Like, okay, this looks like a fun time. I went to the wrong Wrestlerock show apparently, because the only live Wrestlerock experience I've had was before the WrestleMania show, obviously, and so before the Super Showdown. Sorry, yeah, and Wrestle Brunch, and the post show was kind of underwhelming. It seems like the post party for this one was a lot better.
Oh, and look, Andy Coyne sort of grabbed my girlfriend and made her slap Nick Berry in the stomach.
I read about this. I read that, and she bought him beverages.
Yeah,
I think I saw you guys talking about this.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Nick. Like, what? Oh God, what can I do? And he's like, "Oh, just buy me a shot." So he just like had a shot of vodka, and then we all moved on with our lives. And that shit doesn't happen normally.
I saw Nick at about 3:30, still at the pub in a very loose state. I'm sure he didn't remember any of it.
I don't know why Andy Coyne did that, but I have to say I believe Nick Berry deserved it.
Andy Coyne in his party shirt was all my dreams come true. It was just because you only ever see him like he's always dressed to the nines, and seeing him in the ugliest shirt I've ever seen, it was glorious.
Please tell me you have a photo of this.
I'll be able to find one.
Right, because we need to make it the episode picture and throw it out there for the world, because I have not seen this, and I want to see. I've been calling him Party Shirt
Andy Coyne. Party Shirt Andy Coyne.
Well, so I guess when he's dressed to the nines, that's when he wants to ruin the wrestling business, right? And
that's when he hates wrestling, and then when he just wants to get wrestlers beat up by women in bars, that's when he puts on his best party shirt.
It's amazing. That's amazing. So,
promotional consideration paid for by the following.
January is here, and we are fast approaching WrestleMania season. Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania are around the corner, so the time to dilly-dally is past us. If you want to experience WrestleMania live, and who doesn't, let's be honest, you deserve it. The best and really the only way to do it is with All Aussie Travelers. All Aussie Travelers are new to the wrestling travel package game, but they are veterans at travel, and they have put together a package that cannot be beaten. For less than $7,500, All Aussie Travelers are going to send you to New York, New York, with return flights, airport transfers, full accommodation, and tickets to the WWE Hall of Fame, NXT pre-show party, NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and more. The coolest part about these packages is that for NXT TakeOver, Raw, and SmackDown, you are going to be seated in your own private VIP suite, normally not available to the public. But All Aussie Travelers have you covered, man. They got this locked down. It has its own bar, it has its own bathroom access, and all the luxuries that a VIP box comes with, not least of which, of course, an incredible view for everything happening in the ring. All of this for under $7,500. They're practically giving these packages away, man. You'd be crazy not to check it out. So head over to All Aussie Travelers on Facebook. The link is in the show notes. And tell them that the B Plus sent you. And let's go watch WrestleMania in style. Christmas has come and gone, and with it, the disappointment of those Secret Santa staples, the shave kit, the sports hygiene packs, and seasonal socks is fading. As we roll on, though, into the new year, it's time to make resolutions, so why not resolve to look better in 2019 and get yourself the gift that keeps on giving and never disappoints, Threadbox. Threadbox is a subscription clothes shopping service which for as little as $40 per month will send you a box of personally curated goodies straight to your doorstep. I get the $160 package which comes with over $200 worth of fresh goodies each month. kept me looking fly for all my Christmas engagements this year. You get to communicate with the Threadbox stylist assigned to you by email regarding what it is you need, and they will tailor the box accordingly. And in the unlikely event that you don't like what they send you, you send it back, they will replace it with something new and make note of the things you don't like so that they can avoid that kind of thing in the future. Threadbox is a truly unbelievable service that no man should be living without, so head over to threadbox.com.au today and use our code TheB+15 when you check out to get 15% off your first box. Have you actually watched Progress 83, Jules?
Yeah, I did. I needed a bit of an antidote to actually, to be fair, the Takeover and Rumble were pretty fantastic by comparison. But yeah, Progress Chapter 83 was good. It's great to see the crowd seem to have turned Eddie Dennis face, which is kind of interesting because he is one of my all-time favorite heels. He's actually one of my all-time favorite guys on the mic as well. He's just fantastic.
See, I've found him entirely underwhelming in NXT UK.
I can't even watch it. I find it really kind of an odd, sanitized Progress.
Yeah, it's got the WWE sheen on it, so it kind of takes everything that Progress was away. But I haven't watched 83 yet. It's probably literally the only thing that dropped this weekend that I didn't watch. I tallied it up, Dan. 34 hours I watched this weekend.
All right.
So I was all wrestled out today too. I was doing all sorts of other things while Raw was on, but yeah, I can't blame you for being wrestled out with even just having watched the WWE shows in Progress. Like, that's a lot of wrestling.
Oh, it is, and I won't spoil any of it for you, but I think it's a pretty standard, solid 7 or 8 out of 10 Camden show. They haven't really built anything towards super strong style, but I think they're going to start doing that in the next couple of chapters. So, that's cool. And again, in terms of heels, Paul Robinson is just amazing. He is an absolute arsehole.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I didn't even realize it had dropped yet. I'm still a little bit behind. I'm halfway through unboxing. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit behind, but I know most of the spoilers and stuff because when you do what I do, this stuff's kind of everywhere. It's a bit unavoidable. Was there anything else you wanted to cover while we have you here, Jules?
Yeah, look, one of the things that I picked out, and I don't know if you guys have over the weekend, was just the interesting use of submission finishers in WWE. I thought that was really interesting. The kind of the Cassius Ohno, Matt Riddle kind of, you can tap out to strikes now, which I thought was interesting because it was like, does that mean we can just tap out at any time now? Like after an Irish whip, I'm like, oh no. I'm tapping out, or you just see, Volta's entrance Tron come on the screen and you just like tap out and that ends the match. I just thought it meant maybe something interesting for the rules.
Yeah, I think CJ and I were talking about this on the NXT post show that we did, and I can't remember who it was that CJ said should do it. R-Truth should just get in a match against Brock Lesnar and just lay down on the floor and start tapping as soon as the bell rings.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's actually brilliant.
I didn't like it at first. When I first saw it, I was like, what even is that? But then I felt like it has to be the right person. I feel like Matt Riddle, that, and I think the fact that Cassius would have just been like, this is too intense, what's going on, I give up. Elements of it.
I really liked it in the context overall that like Asuka busted out the cattle mutilation, and I don't remember seeing that in WWE. So that looks like, and the fact that Becky taps out pretty quick to it, that it was looked like a good protected finisher. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that gets used again in big matches.
Yeah, like if it becomes her super finisher, how good would it be to see her get her win back over Charlotte at WrestleMania this year with that finish?
That would just be outstanding and would make sense and would tell a great story.
It would be one of those rare instances of WWE actually telling a story. Like, hey, look, she went away and she came back better. And, that doesn't happen in WWE.
But that's my dream booking, is that they do it properly with Asuka now and make that like the sort of the exclamation point on her sort of badass unbeatableness and bring that back.
Yeah. I think WWE are going to have to change things up a lot with how they're booking, and we're already seeing it. I mean, would you have thought 6 months ago, prior to all the All Elite stuff, would you have thought that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch would be winning their respective Royal Rumbles? I don't think anyone would have had that.
But I also wouldn't think that you'd have like a Kimura lock from Brock Lesnar, the cattle mutilation, and that Ronda fucking Rousey is doing worked like jabs like Shane McMahon. I just that just made no sense to me at all.
She's pulled her punches since day one, though. I feel like she's afraid she's going to hurt someone.
Yeah, I thought she gave Triple H a good going over on the first, when she first came in. But yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. I think even if you watch back the WrestleMania, I think everyone was caught up in the energy. I mean, I was too. I thought it was amazing. But when you watch it back, she pulls the punches pretty hard. Like, I'm like, it's Triple H. Surely you can lay them in.
Yeah,
he's a big man. He can take it.
But no, so I was pretty much entertained by some of the actual wrestling WWE over the weekend. So that was great.
Yeah, it speaks to that sports focus, which we know Fox want from them, right? Fox want them to go to a more sports focused product. So submissions, these sorts of things happening more often. Hopefully, protected finishes, like you touched on with the cattle mutilator. Protected finishes are so important. It's the thing that makes NJPW so good. Is when the One Winged Angel comes out, the match is ending. When the Rainmaker comes out, like the proper Rainmaker, you know the match is ending. It's yeah, the WWE need to get back to protected finishes.
I think my favorite part of the weekend, though, just to sort of close up on that, is that on the OSW Review Discord channel, someone went to the loo just before R-Truth's entrance at number 30 in the Rumble, and then they came back and were like, wait, why is R-Truth turned into a plus-size woman? Like, they just missed the whole Nia Jax thing. It was like...
Well, that is a very R-Truth thing to do, to be fair.
Yeah.
I touched on this. Sorry, I touched on this, I think, in one of the Facebook groups today. I was like, because I was so against this. I know that we talked into it a bit in length last night, Greg, but I thought if they had have just had Mount in Nia's spot, beat the shit out of Nia to the point where Nia can't enter the Women's Rumble, and then she comes out in the Men's Rumble, then it makes sense. Then I'm like, you know what, Nia, I know why you're here.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, I've already ranted about it enough, but the Nia thing, it didn't make sense. It's not, I don't care that she's getting beaten up by dudes and she's beating up dudes. That part is so far from, it's just that I didn't know why she was there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Dander's not a Fanders.
Not a Fanders, not a Fanderfield.
All right, Jules. So I'm gonna let you go, buddy, and we're gonna move on to some other callers. But something that you said there with the R-Truth thing. Did you see R-Truth rapping Jack Swagger to the cage in Bellator? Did you see this, Danders?
I didn't see it. No.
Oh man, it was amazing. Like Jack Swagger, not afraid to like throw back to his wrestling stuff and everything, and like he did the whole "We the People." He did the whole, and R-Truth rapped him. And it happened, it was like just after the NXT TakeOver finished. So, there's videos and stuff of all the guys in the back after NXT TakeOver, like huddling around an iPad and watching Jack Swagger get rapped to the cage by R-Truth. It was amazing.
I'll have to check it out.
Not a big MMA person?
I like my fighting fake. I don't like it real.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like real fighting. It's so boring. No one even does flips and shit in MMA.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple where they do flips and stuff, but like it doesn't end well for them.
You're not doing a shooting star press and shit in MMA.
No, that's definitely not happening.
Getting Dixie Carter's. Is Dixie Carter? Is that the UFC person? No, Dixie Carter's TNA.
No, what?
I don't know what
Dixie Carter was TNA. You're talking about oh man, I'm having a mind blank on the name. I'm having a mind blank on the name.
What's her name?
Dana
I always
White.
think it's a woman.
Dana
I always
White.
think it's a woman. It's a man
Dana
because
White.
Dana is a girl's name. Anyway, you don't see his son coming out and doing presses on UFC fighters.
Yeah, look, the day Dana White's estranged wife gets up from a wheelchair and slaps him after he has an affair, that's the day I'll watch UFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Well, this wasn't even in UFC though. This was in Bellator. All right, I'll bring it. I'll bring it back to the fake fighting. I know you were a fan of the Jeff Jarrett spot in the Rumble, and I wasn't. How did you feel about Jeff Jarrett showing up today?
I could not wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
Are they doing a
I
Mania
fucking love that
program?
song. Are they doing a tour? I'll go watch them on tour. They can just play that one song.
Road
I
Dogg.
want Jeff
Road
Jarrett
Dogg trying
opening-
to get Renee Young to sing.
Yeah.
It was so awkward.
Renee Young's probably not old enough to know. Renee Young's probably like my age.
Yeah, it was
Probably doesn't know
It was so awkward and bad, but I enjoy it on Raw. I don't enjoy it on Royal Rumble when it's been 6 hours already, you know? But I bring it up because Jeff Jarrett and apparently Shane Helms as well have signed new contracts with WWE, and they're in backstage roles. So WWE are on a signing spree even for people who aren't going to wrestle. Like, they don't want other companies to have agents. That's how freaked out they are at the moment.
Well, they got them sweet Saudi dollars that they can throw around.
And the Fox money too. Don't forget the Fox money. That's a huge amount of money. Yeah. Let's get to our last caller.
Absolutely.
It's a familiar voice that people may be familiar with. Or one half of the View from the WWE Universe team with yourself, Danders. CJ.
Ooh.
How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, quite
Even
well.
large?
Tired.
Good.
All wrestled out. Yeah.
Big weekend of craps, mate. It's intense.
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts on the weekend, man? Because we haven't spoken to you
Mate,
yet. Yeah.
No, we haven't. My thoughts are a bit mixed. I'm a bit biased about a couple of the matches at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was one of the best pay-per-views I've seen since 2015.
It's the best pay-per-view I've seen this year, that's for sure.
It's the only pay-per-view we've seen this year, Dan.
I can't even say how many times I've ripped out that joke.
Yeah, I saw one on one of the Facebook groups that was, people saying Brock Lesnar's a filthy part-timer. He's worked every pay-per-view this year. And I'm like, oh, come on. It's a bit cheap.
8 minutes. He put in a solid 8 minutes.
Solid 8 minutes. More time than Bobby Lashley.
More time than my ex-boyfriend. What? Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry. Cringe.
Yeah, these are regular occurrences with dear listeners. This one's coming out practically unedited because of the way, like, the technical reasons behind call-in shows. That this is going to be quite lightly edited, if at all. So people heard that, Danders, and normally I take those kinds of comments out to protect you.
That's all right. I actually had a dream last night, just on this tangent, that me and Matt Riddle had a tag team, and we were called the Bro and Ho Connection.
I like it.
Yeah, that's about as far as the dream went. That's all I remember. But
you didn't have a tag team finisher at all?
No.
What kind of finisher would a Bro and Ho Connection have?
A pile driver?
Maybe you could do a pile driver.
Yeah.
In
my head.
Wait, a pile driver. Okay, no, maybe you guys could do like a Bros before Hoes, where like he knocks him down and then you splash, so it's Bro then Ho.
Yes, I love it.
Bros before
I love
Hoes.
it.
There we go. That's on the spot too. Yeah, killing it.
Cool.
So what have you got to talk about, CJ? What have you got for us, man?
No, it was touched on earlier, but the submission finishes this weekend was absolutely incredible. Having Brock crack out that Kimura lock, I've always thought that was a piece of beauty. And him cracking that out this weekend against Balor, that was absolutely a piece of beauty. Just perfect for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, Brock does the submissions a lot, but he normally doesn't finish the match with them, which is interesting to know.
The last time I think we saw it was when he versus Triple H and broke his arm. Or, kayfabe broke his arm.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar finishes, though, I wonder if Randy Orton was watching that whole Cassius Ohno tapping out from elbow strikes and thinking, fuck, that's an option?
I would have thought he'd be more like, what a paper bitch.
Because he got... he got cut.
I didn't even think of Randy's reaction. That would have been great.
Yeah. He's like, why did no one tell me this? Vince! God damn it!
Just the way the punches were when I saw Shane O'Mac doing that, his little MMA punches. I would have loved to see like Sheamus or Cesaro tap out from those. Where he gets a little thing where his fist moves so fast, he's like one of those little wind-up dolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the combo. Past my bedtime.
Yeah, no, the submission finishes are it's very interesting, especially like if WWE do actually go into this whole sports-like direction with the directives from Fox, that Fox want it to be more sports-like, and of course the fan base have been saying we want it to be more sports-like, right? I mean, the fans are getting behind New Japan. All Elite Wrestling, they have their finger on the pulse of the fans too, and they're like, we're going to do this more like a sport. Wins and losses matter. You know, you're going to have rankings and all that sort of stuff. So, but All Elite Wrestling also want to be an alternative. So if WWE lean into this and actually start doing it well, do we see All Elite Wrestling go a different way and, you know, just put Joey Ryan in charge?
I hope not.
He just starts flipping everyone.
This minute in Danders Not the Fanders, not a fan of Joey Ryan's work.
No.
We've had this discussion privately, and I think you're a moron.
I just when I see, because I only ever see him at World Series.
Yeah.
And he came out and he did like a 15-minute speech on how he wouldn't be performing. Like 20 minutes after Cody did a 15-minute speech on how he wouldn't be performing. And
right.
He just comes out and there's so much theater. And I'm all for dick jokes. Like, I'm all about it. But it's just like, it's the same jokes every time. And it's especially when I think it was probably about this time last year when there was a tag match against him and Mick Moretti and Madison Eagles. And I was like, these are amazing performers that as someone in Melbourne, I don't get to see all the time.
Right.
I would rather see Madison and Mick rather than this guy pulling lollipops out of his trunks. Like, I don't care.
Oiling himself up, doing the slip and slide.
I'm here for the flippy shit and the punchy shit, and I'm not here for Joey Ryan dick jokes.
We need to get a Danders Not a Fanders theme song made up.
Yeah.
It could be like a recurring segment.
You know what would be really good though? A Joey Ryan shirt saying no hits, just dicks.
Yep.
See, I'm a big fan of Joey Ryan. I know that he does the same shit every time, but I don't know. I mean, repetition is magic, but it's one of those things where it bought him a house, you know, and I respect that. I respect that this dude doesn't even really need to take bumps anymore, and he gets a pop from the crowd, and it bought him a house. Do you guys watch Being the Elite?
Do, yeah.
I watch it every now and again, yes.
Right. So this week he had a fantastic spot at the beginning. So the Young Bucks are going around to all the like indie shows, and they show up at Defy, and he's at Defy, and they save him and stuff. And they're like, oh, you saved us. That's the second time in 2 weeks that you've saved me. And he's like, you want to save me again? And they're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know, I mean, you guys are handing out contracts, right? And then they're like, oh. Yeah, he's like, because it's a well-known fact, I'll sign any contract without reading it. And they're referencing, of course, him being trapped in this lifetime contract with Lucha Underground.
Yep.
He can't go anywhere, which, I mean, everyone thought that he's going to show up in All Elite. And I guess this is a little nod, like letting us know he probably won't because of this freaking, this life. How did they get lifetime contracts? Is that even a thing?
I'm sorry to be a noob. I didn't realize that was real. I thought that was a joke.
Is that a joke? Because I've heard that they're locked in these contracts and they can't go anywhere, right?
But it's also like, who is wanting Joey Ryan for a whole lifetime? I don't even want him for like a 3-hour show.
But like, no, because the news...
I didn't really know, but how
came
can
to
you
light with
legally...
Eva Lise. Eva Lise wants to get out of her contract, and she's like, this is bullshit. I've been trying to get out of this contract for like 2 years now, and we don't even know if there's going to be a season 5 for Lucha Underground, and they're not letting us out. And then Joey Ryan made the joke about the lifetime. So maybe it's not a lifetime contract. Maybe that was just a joke. But either way, how are they allowed to do this? Like, it's indentured servitude.
Why are you signing contracts that you haven't had a lawyer look over?
I mean, a lot of the time...
A real dangerous part.
But you're talking about indie wrestlers, right? Like, you know some indie wrestlers, Danders.
That's supposed to mean.
Well,
I'm joking.
No, I'm just saying, like, and I'm not trying to throw shade here, but
I know.
You're presented with a contract, and you're like, this is all I want to do with my life, and this contract has a bunch of zeros on it, and you're going to be on TV, and you're like, especially if, like, this was quite a few years ago, Joey Ryan started with Lucha Underground. I'm fairly sure he was in season 1. No, it's season 2. So, you know, it's quite a few years ago. He probably wasn't as business savvy then as he is now. And, you know, you sign on the dotted line because that's what you do. Someone's offering to pay you to do the wrestles. Yeah,
I was not sort of directly. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was just strongly encourage them to like do at least some basic like TAFE courses, management and things like that. Because I'm like, if you're going to be an independent contractor your entire life, you need to learn how to handle money and how to do things like read contracts, because you don't know the situation that you're going to be in 5 years' time. Things like that. So yeah, I guess it's a tough thing, and I know that a lot of, I guess, in similar vein musicians get trapped into similar style contracts, because I think this is all I've ever dreamed of.
And they don't realize they have to pay back the advance and all that sort of stuff before they see any money on the back end. Yeah, they get fucked.
They're not making any money because they're got these extortionate fees, and that's quite sad if that's the case, and he's going to be limited there.
Yeah, it's awful. I don't want to end the show on such a low note. CJ, give us something more positive.
I'll give you something more positive. The man is going to Mania.
Yeah.
Oh,
back where we started. Becky Lynch is
the man, Becky Lynch. I thought you meant you're going to Mania. I was like, oh, I'm so jealous.
I'm pretty sure my fiance would murder me if I did that.
Look, with the 70-hour work weeks, man, you should be able to, right? You deserve it.
Yeah, kind of.
But you, dear listener, if you are interested in going to WrestleMania, make sure you check out our good friends, All Aussie Travelers, on Facebook. Give them a like. Let them know we sent you. I just had to get that plug in there because, you know, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But no, the man, Becky. We're talking about Becky Lynch here, Dan. She's called the man.
I love her.
As my daughter will say, she's not a man. She's E-man. I don't know what the hell that was all about.
E-man?
Yeah, that's what she's...
E-man.
For some reason, she says E-man, and I'm like, you mean the man? She's like, yeah, that's what I said, E-man. I'm like, no, that's not a thing. But
I know that we touched on the promo. Sorry. I know we touched on the promo earlier on, but that was phenomenal. The way that Ronda kind of lent into her awkwardness, where she was like, all right, guys, you got me to stutter. It was like, because that crowd was molten hot for Becky. That was like a post WrestleMania crowd. They were on fire and they did not want a bar of Ronda. So the way that she held her nerve kind of strong in a promo sense against Becky, which is for the first time I've seen her come off kind of looking quite strong in a promo.
Yeah. Yeah, because she did. She leaned into it and she was just like, okay, look, I screwed up and you guys are throwing me off my game, but I owned the ground under my feet and I'm going to kill you at WrestleMania. And it was just like, whoa, where did that come from?
Kill you with my bare hands.
Yeah. Like, the only thing, what did she say? The only thing stopping me from killing you with my bare hands is the fact that I make the choice not to.
Yeah.
Like, that's so badass. It's so badass.
Is when she was like, where were you 10 years ago? I was a household name. It's like,
has it been 10 years?
5 years ago, mate. You were taking a foot to the face. Calm down.
Yeah, wait, has she been in the public eye for 10 years? Has it been that long?
She has not been a household name for 10 years. I reckon she's been a household name. As someone who doesn't like MMA, I reckon I first heard about Ronda Rousey maybe... Well, I remember at WrestleMania 31, that would be the first time that I was like, oh, okay, I might have heard of her.
All right, I'm fact-checking this. I'm fact-checking this. When did the Entourage movie come out?
Well, no, that would have been that was 2015.
2015. So 4 years.
That was the same year.
I would say that was when she became a household name, when she's like started doing movies and shit, right? Like,
yeah,
that's
maybe
when
slightly
you become a crossover star. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taking liberties there, saying you've been a household name for 10 years, Ronda.
Yeah, and when she was like, I was main eventing in sports that didn't want women as main events, I was like, I don't think we need to be addressing that you previously were in a sport that maybe didn't appreciate women, that probably still doesn't appreciate women as much as it should.
Yeah, well, she said that she was doing that when Becky Lynch was still training, and I'm like, was she already in UFC when Becky Lynch was still a trainee? She was doing judo back then. Or is that what she was talking about? Like, judo didn't want women. I don't know enough about judo to know. So...
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that was a really good promo. She looked really strong. And like, I guess it was intended to make Becky look like she was a little bit lost for words because she was just kind of laughing or smiling.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's amazing that, you know, heading into WrestleMania season in 2019, even with all this extra stuff going on, like, you know, the biggest ever New Japan show in America at Madison Square Garden, like All Elite Wrestling on the horizon. And this may flip in a week because All Elite Wrestling have their, or not a week, it's in like 19 days or something. I can't remember. What did the countdown say on Kenny Omega's phone? It's sometime soon. They're doing February 7 and 8. Yeah, 19
days.
It's February 7 and 8. That's all I know. So they're doing their big announcements of they're going to have more rosters. They're obviously going to announce Kenny Omega on that day. They're going to reveal some women, I'm assuming. But yeah, the hottest thing going into WrestleMania season, the thing everyone is talking about is Becky Lynch. Like, what a fucking accomplishment. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And that thing with Ronda, that should have closed out the show. That's...
Yeah.
Moment of the show for me. No disrespect to Seth and Brock. Brock isn't, to me, he's not an attraction anymore. Brock is a reminder of how absent the Universal title is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've already muted CJ. He's gone. We're gonna call it. We're gonna put a pin in it there, and I think I'll save all that talk for you and CJ on The View from the WWE Universe, which comes out on Thursday. I'm so exhausted from all this wrestling that I've lost track of our own schedule, and we're off schedule anyway because Mikey had to do a show yesterday because he's whipped, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, Danders. But yeah, where can people find you?
I can find me on Twitter at Danderfield, on Instagram at Rachel Danderfield, and as always, don't add me on Facebook because we're not friends. I had a couple of people try and add me on Facebook today. I was like, English motherfucker, do you speak it?
English motherfucker, do you speak it? Yeah. But we are friends on Facebook. I just like to put that out there. Yeah. It's going to become a recurring thing now. If you want to say the same thing, I'm all about saying the same thing over and over, like the following. I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter because... You want to take it?
B+ Wrestling wouldn't fit.
Damn right. And we are the B+ Wrestling everywhere else, though, except for Patreon, where you can go to support us and jump in on awesome things like this call-in show. Julian even gets to... He's our premier backer. He gets us at the top tier, and he gets to tell us, once a month, he gets to tell us what we're going to talk about. And you can get in on that, too, at patreon.com/theb+. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. And, of course, we want to grow this thing with our mission of watch global, support local. Jump on board, like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening. If you have made it this far and you're thinking to yourself, where's the theme song that I love so much and definitely isn't too long? Congratulations, you've reached the bonus level. Because after we finished recording, our Patreon supporter, Jules, had the forethought to send me a wonderful, wonderful video from his phone from the night of Wrestlerock. So please enjoy 13 or so seconds. The video isn't very good. He's quite drunk whilst filming it, so the video's all over the place. So I'm not going to include the video. I've just taken the audio out of this because the audio is so amazing. Please enjoy Party Shirt Andy encouraging someone to slap Nick Berry on the belly at the wee hours of the morning at the Wrestlerock after party. This is amazing, guys. You're gonna love it.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!